And welcome back. We're sitting with the two front runners to become the next mayor of Fresno, Dyer, Andrew Janz. We covered homelessness, a potential parks and public safety tax. Let's get to cannabis here, because there was the agreement that was agreed to by City Council. Mayor Brand has approved it now finally with the efforts of the Fresno Police Department. And I posed a question talking about funding of parks. Cannabis is expected to bring in a revenue. We're going to have 2 pot shops in every district coming up at some point, maybe here this year, bids set to come out. Would a revenue from the cannabis be able to fund the parks?
Well, there's going to be revenue. The unknown is how much revenue. It's not a pot of gold. By the time the state gets done taxing, the city gets done taxing, we have to consider the black market. Who's going to enforce the black market to cause people to go the legal way to purchase marijuana? And secondly, we don't know what's going to happen in the future with Big Pharma. There's already talk and consideration of them taking over the marijuana industry. So I don't think that people should be counting on this revenue in the future, and certainly not counting on this revenue being anything that's going to be able to support the maintenance of our parks.
Andrew, let me, first of all, your take, if it could help fund parks, and then if it doesn't, in your opinion, what would you use the money for?
Well, first off, I'm glad to see that my opponents come around on this issue. I've been a longtime supporter of legalization of cannabis, making sure that we regulate it and tax it and do it in a safe way here in our city. I think obviously, yes, I'm open to diverting some of those funds to parks, but I think the vast majority of the revenue that we get from the cannabis tax would have to go to underserved communities that have really been left behind by our city leaders, by our community leaders for, I think, for 20, 30 years. There are places in our community that really need that help, and I think that the cannabis money can go towards that.
I want to move towards this, because revitalizing downtown, boy, that has been an ongoing battle. Both of you guys know, everybody in our audience knows, revitalizing downtown is crucial. Businesses on Fulton, they want to create a safer and more lively existence down there. Really, as you guys know, the heartbeat of the city. How do you plan to recharge and revitalize Fulton Mall?
Well, number one, you build on the momentum. In the Cultural Arts District, we have thousands of people living in housing. If you look at the stadium, South Stadium, you have the Brewery District, and any Friday, Saturday night, you'll have thousands of people coming out there. You have Art Hop, you have a number of things happening. You finally have Fulton Street that is now open. It's slated for mixed use, where you have retail on the bottom, housing on top. But really what we have to do is turn Fulton Mall into an entertainment hub. Fresno should be the entertainment hub for Central California. That's having a nightlife, that's having fine restaurants.
Well, who pays for that?
Have to be unique features.
Is that private sector?
It's a shared risk between city government and the private sector, and there has to be shared risk, because the normal investor is going to be reluctant to come in and do this unless there's not shared risk with the city.
Andrew?
There's no disagreement here. We absolutely have to do more for downtown. One of the biggest mistakes, I think, of this administration, the Lee Brand administration, was to let the Fresno Foxes go. You know, I'm a big soccer supporter, and that is something that has generated a lot of revenue downtown. We have to make it easier for developers and our investors to be able to go in there and do the job. Right now, there's too much red tape.
All right, I want to get into this a little bit. Andrew, Mayor Brand came on this show just a couple of weeks ago. Clearly said on this show, Mayor Brand said you are not qualified to be the mayor. What's your response to that? Well,
you know, he is the one that backed out of this race when I first challenged him about 9 months ago. I think he saw the writing on the wall. He saw the polling. You know, people are hungry for a change in this race, and you know, many of these people that are criticizing me for my lack of experience are the same people that said the same stuff about Ashley Swearingen, who was a very transformative mayor for our city. And so many of those people are also supporting President Trump, who had no political or government experience when he took over the presidency. And so for me, I think it's so important that we have somebody with fresh new ideas, a fresh take, and somebody that's not beholden to the status quo and the people that have been dominating our politics.
Jerry, it's been a crazy campaign for you, coming off your police chief duties, 18 years, 40 years in the force and all. Your record has been questioned by a PAC. Your billboard was vandalized. Council President Miguel Arias has even donated money to that PAC, trying to keep you from winning this race. Has this turned into party politics?
Well, about party politics, I can't control what the opponents do or naysayers say. What I can do is control my campaign and what my response is. I'm continuing to be positive. There's not been any negative attacks on Andrew from my camp, and there won't be. And in terms of what other people do, the money in which they provide against me, that's really upon them. When the election's over, I'm willing to sit down with everybody, unite as a team, and to address some of those critical issues that face our city. I really don't have time for petty politics, and I don't represent a party. I represent the people of Fresno. And I want to handle the issues that are before us as a city and not worry about the politics. I think the politics is what keeps us from doing the right thing for the people that we serve.
All right, I want to finish with this, guys. You know, often it's hard to walk into any job and just say, I'm going to pick up and go, right? Sometimes you have to crawl before you walk. Why are you the best guy to walk into the mayor's office and say, let's go, let's do this, I'm ready to move at the snap of a finger?
You know, like most Fresnans, I believe that the city needs change, and we need generational change. I am a candidate. I'm the only candidate in this race that is not taking money from developers, from corporations and companies, groups that have dominated our city politics for an entire generation. People are hungry for that change. So I'm best qualified because I'm not beholden to those special interest groups. I can get in, roll up my sleeves, and do the right thing.
Jerry, you got 20 seconds.
I have skin in the game in this city. I've spent 40 years here, 18 as a police chief. I've poured my heart and soul into keeping the citizens safe, and I'm going to continue to do that as a mayor of this city. And I will bring fresh ideas to City Hall, just like I brought fresh ideas to the police department and being able to keep people safe in this city for as long as I did.
All right, yes or no right here before we go. Is this race over on March 3rd, Super Tuesday? Let's hope so.
I think it is.
You think it is? All right. Gentlemen, I appreciate your time. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. All right, coming up, he took the debate stage for the first time and was hit hard. Did Mike Bloomberg do enough to outlast Las Vegas? Bloomberg senior advisor Tim O'Brien joins me exclusively next.